What's up, everybody? Today's topic today is going to be AI won't save us unless we use it, right? Now, I wasn't going to come on live like this. I was actually going to stay with the digital avatar, but this one just felt close to home, right? And I just want to show you guys also how I'm learning in my new class and how this is the perfect opportunity for anybody to, learn with AI or um, use it to make income with AI. So let's go ahead and go down to this real quick because this past weekend has been extremely crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And we had, rest in peace, a trigger warning. Before I show you guys this, I will be talking about the past deaths that happened this past weekend, these past 4th of July parties, about Nolan and about Mr. Jackson. Peace and love to their families because this one's definitely hurt to home. So let's go ahead and start sharing this. Let me make sure we can see this. Okay, so check this out. For those that do not know what this is called Notebook LLM. So Notebook LLM is a platform on Google right now where you're able to take PDFs, take websites, and put them all in one place. Then you're able to use this chat box right here to actually ask questions according to the files, right? So potentially when they say like every AI is going to be inside every single person's job. Now, I am not a lawyer, so this is not legal advice or anything, but this information is free to the whole entire public. And if you want to go even deeper into it, I'm going to teach you guys that now. And I'm going to use just a little bit of this today because over here, if you're not the reader type, you're able to do slide decks, a mini overview video, a mini map, report, flashcards, infograph, quizzes, reports. So watch this, you guys. So the I added all the websites right here, right? I already did all that. It didn't add three, and that's okay. But we're gonna go ahead and get down to this, right? After I put everything in, the first question was summarize Jafar Jackson's case in 10 bullet points, right? All right. Jackson, a 28-year-old black man from Illinois, was found dead June 30th, 2026, after attending the Electric Forest Music Festival. And on the morning of the 29th, Jackson reported an alleged criminal incident involving a friend from the Michigan State Police, right? After troops interviewed and involved parties and determined no crime has occurred, Jackson left the festival grounds at approximately 10 a.m. His body was discovered the following day in a wooded area, roughly 100 feet, 150 feet at the Hart Mortage Trail near the unaccompanied vehicles. Listen to this, right? Michigan State Police preliminary findings indicated that Jackson died by suicide, specifically by hanging, and they stated there was no indication of foul play. When has it ever happened in Black people history, in American history? I haven't seen it. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments, but I've never seen a Black person hang themselves at a party they go to have fun. It doesn't add up. And they put this right in front of every single person, thinking that they're just going to read this stuff, right? And not do anything about it, right? But you have way more power than you realize because now this is available to every single person, right? Investigators recovered Jackson's cell phone and personal belongings at the campsite while his wallet and keys were found inside the rental truck. Jackson's family reported that both of the drivers and passengers' doors of the rental car were left open, raising concerns about the circumstances of his death. A suspicious alert on Jackson's bank account showed someone attempted to log in at 12:01 p.m. on Monday, just 2 hours since he was last seen. The family strongly disputes the suicidal ruling, noting Jackson had no history of mental health disorder and was looking forward to being the best man at a friend's wedding, right? Family members have questioned why Jackson's group of friends, for whom he was the only Black member, returned to Illinois without him after he went missing. Listen, Black kids, right? The thing about racism is it's not um it's not something that is born into a baby now through epigenetics, maybe, but it's something that is taught, right? When I was growing up in Japan and Germany, Turkey, right? Then when I came to the America, right? That was the first time they called me the N word, right? I remember it clear as day, during lunch, right? I didn't tell nobody this, but during lunch, right? My white friends, we were cool like all throughout elementary school. When we get to middle school, right? All about competition, right? That's just how it is. And they asked me like, "What do you mix with?" I was just telling them like, I'm mixed with black, I'm mixed with Asian, I'm mixed with Pacific Islander, I'm mixed with a little bit of Irish. As soon as I said a little bit of Irish, he was like, maybe your ancestors got raped back in the day too. Wow, right? A little boy. I knew this in seventh grade already. That day, like we were not friends anymore, right? I had way more self respect for myself, right? I don't go alone in groups whatsoever, right? Being a third generation military and also army veteran, you always go somewhere with somebody, right? Especially, right? If you don't know, like, or trust these people, right? Then you shouldn't probably even go because this can happen. Imagine a parent, right? You send your kid off to go to a party and they're hung, they're being hanged, right? Nobody said anything at this party. Nobody wants to step up and say what's right. Interesting. I will. So the next question I ask is I wanted to dig down a little bit further. I said, what contradictions exist between the police statements and the witness accounts? Right. The following contradictions and discrepancies exist between the statements made by the Michigan State Police and accounts provided by Gerald Jackson's family and friends. Mental health and crisis claims. The police/witness accounts. Jackson's friends, Connor Prettyman, stated that it was thought that he might have had some sort of mental crisis and wandered off. Family account. Jackson's family strongly disputes this, confirming that he was never diagnosed with any mental health disorders. Now, wait. I don't understand the logic of these cops, right? Because this is obvious discrepancy that's available to everybody that we can all read. You understand? If this is saying that right now, and his friend that was with him, that came from Illinois to Michigan, said that he just wandered off, right? That doesn't give you a clear indication as somebody that is serving the community, right? In this state, right? So it just sounds a little fishy to me. I'm not making any like personal claims or accusations. I am doing my research and I'm showing you guys this research. And it's like my brother or my cousin that this is happening to. Okay. So I obviously feel this in my bones when I hear a story like this because it was two this past weekend. And I wanted to bring this up, especially for the family members and the people that just really don't know what to do afterwards. Listen, wherever you're at across the United States, you're able to take action in any state. And I'm about to show you guys that at the end of this. Okay. I'm sending love to the family. The family's account, right? Saw this. Number two, the nature of the police encounter. Here it goes. The statement. Authorities state Jackson called troopers to his campsite to report an alleged criminal incident involving a friend. After interviewing those involved, police determined no crime had occurred. The witness accounts. Connor Prettyman wrote in a group chat that Jackson had tried to turn himself into the police and they began questioning him, right? So this is a clear discrepancy that we could just see, right? From just the websites, right? All up in here, right? This is everything that they post on social media, literally from Instagram, every website that's been out. This is all public knowledge, right? And you guys can do this search on Notebook LM. We're gonna close that. Oh, where was I? Here we go. Bear with me. Possession of personal belonging. Police statement. Troopers reported finding Jackson's phone and personal belongings left behind at the campsite while his wallet and keys were inside the car. Now we know in 2026, ain't nobody leaving their phone behind for no reason. But look what their family says, okay? Family account. Jackson's stepfather argued that they took his phone and keys away, noting that Jackson was directionally challenged and would never go anywhere without his phone. That makes clear sense. Just don't understand why we can't listen to the families, right? The people that work hard here in America that try to make a living out of themselves and have honest and a fair point of view, really. Um, he further pointed out the contradiction that Jackson's friend used Jackson's own phone as a contact on a missing person's report, despite claiming this phone was left behind. Conditions of the rental vehicle. Sorry, I've been studying all day. Police statement. Official reports describe finding the rental vehicle unoccupied with Jackson's wallet and keys inside. The family account. Jackson's stepfather stated that when the rental car was found, both the driver door and the front passenger door was left open, a detail that raised their suspicion of foul play. Now, check this out. This is a discrepancy question, right? I asked the question, what contradictions exist between the police statements and the witnesses' account that we can already see already? That is live. Suicide versus foul play. Police statements. Preliminary findings by the Michigan State Police indicate that Jackson died by suicide. Outrageous. Specifically, hanging. A black man hanging himself in 2026. That's not fun. We know that's not fun. How stupid do you think we are? And there's no indication of foul play. Wow. Family account. The family believes Jackson was murdered. And what his friends, they know something. They pointed out a suspicious bank account alert showing an attempt to log in at 12:01 on Monday. He disappeared just 2 hours after he was last seen. That's something other than a suicide occurrence. Okay. Now, my last question, or one of my next questions was generate a checklist of actions the community can take, the FOIA, legal supporting documents and organizations. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of brush through this a little bit. But listen, this is what everyday people can do in your local counties, right? If you're a minority and you don't know what to do, go to Google. This is literally on Google. Type in Notebook LLM, start getting websites, put them in, and start doing your own research. So that way, at least you could take this information to said attorney. So that way, you guys have way better information, right? Because sometimes these news platforms and these journalists, they get way better information than anybody else does. Okay. So we have to gather the facts, right? If we're going to go do this, right, you have to gather the facts. Utilize state open record laws, right? So every state has a Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, or open record laws. Use these to request police reports, investigation files, departmental policies, and tape recordings regarding controversial incidents, right? Demand official policies. Request the police department standard operating procedure, the SOP. The document is public and should be available in local libraries or provide upon request. Track the lawsuit. Research public records. Examine employment data, right? Request data on the racial and gender composition of the police force to evaluate if it reflects the community it serves. Ignored flawed data, right? Be skeptical of official data often used to deflect criticism, such as the general crime rate, arrest rates, and clearance rates, as these can be easily manipulated. Number two, seek legal support. Consult with experienced attorneys. Request independent investigators, right? Families often seek independent autopsies and investigations, and this takes some time, obviously. And I've seen a lot of these actually go in the right direction, right? So that's definitely something to look into. File formal complaints. Send a letter, right? Specifically, the complaint, right, to the chief of police, the internal affairs division. Keep copies of everything. Utilize small claim of court, right? And I already know, I can feel it right now. Like for black people, like hearing all this, you don't want to do none of this shit because you feel like it's too much work, right? But if I'm talking to the family right now and I'm like saying like you this is what you gotta do, it doesn't matter, right? They're gonna find justice for their son, their kid, because God forbid, right, for the parent out there, right? You send your kid off, or you know your child is going to one of these events to go have fun with a group of friends that you think, right? You're praying, you're sending good energy, then you hear this information back that he doesn't make it home. He was brutally murdered, raped, killed, and hung. It's sad. So I'm sending love straight to the family members, straight to the healing, and also giving you guys something that I can um, help you give you some direction, right? So the community organization and advocacy, right? Because I have a part to play too. Build board coalitions from the coalition of civil rights, religions, and professional organizations to draw attention to management problems and apply political pressure. We can make a change when we understand what is actually taking place, the system at hand in front of you, right? Educate the public, conduct programs to teach citizens about their constitutional rights during police encounters, right? Distribute bus cards that explain what to say and do when to stop. Establish a cop watch. Organize teams to monitor police conduct through personal observation and recording incidents of abuse in the community alone. That's an awesome one. Engage in the political process. Campaign for the establishment of strengthening of the Civil Review Board. This is the independent of the police department and has subpoena power. Lobby for legislation, push for state level reform, such as creating an office of special police prosecutor to handle abuse cases, mandating statewide data collections and police misconduct, breaking the code of silence by making it a crime for officers to fail to report wrongdoing by their peers, right? Engage the media. Contact investigative journalists to encourage them to look into police practices or specific controversial ideas. Use press and conferences to demand accountability. There's a lot that you can do, right? And like I said, this feels like a brother or a cousin that this has happened to, right? And I don't have to do any of this at all, right? But at the same time, this is what you can do, right? If you guys want to do a case, if you guys want to learn something about an AI skill, if you guys want to learn anything about, something that's going to help you retain information better and learn it in a different way, because for me, it's just hard for me to kind of like read books all the time. I like to ask questions and I like to have that specialized learning. This is where learning is actually going to go anyways, right? You'll be able to ask those specialized questions, and based off of the amount of times you continue to do it, right, the teaching gets better and better and better and better. So this is what I said. Convert this into output, a FOIC template, a justice checklist PDF, or a one pager. What to do when tragedy hits your community. So this is going to be in a PDF in the link in the description down below. It doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. But that's all I wanted to give you guys for tonight. Because I know it's tough for the family members, because this is not the first time that this has happened to someone close to me, right? And close to a lot of us. But the amazing thing now is that you have more power than you realize. You can do more good by speaking up, right? Know your rights, know your history, know where you currently stand right now, right? Because what you say actually matters, right? Just like we talked about earlier this week, right? Everybody is playing a song on this earth, right? What type of string chord do you want to be? Do you want to be the string chord that creates chaos and destruction and steals from people and their families? Or do you want to be the one that shows unconditional love, that heals, that grows, that nurtures, that invests in the next generation, right? Answer in the comments down below, you guys. But if you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, don't forget to like, share, and comment. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Salute.